Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt like your life is being pulled in directions that don't belong to you? Like someone is quietly rewriting your priorities without asking for your permission? Why is it that the older we get, the more we're expected to carry expectations, responsibilities, emotional debts? Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what happens when others begin to demand pieces of you that they have no right to? In this video, we'll talk about the 5 requests no one should make of you, especially not at this stage of life, because the truth is simple. Anything that disturbs your peace isn't worth your time, and the moment you understand that, your whole life begins to change. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Jung Psychotic to stay updated with content that nurtures your personal and spiritual growth. Now, let's begin. 1. Picking up burdens that aren't yours. There's a point in life where you stop playing the rescuer in other people's dramas. Not because you don't care, but because you finally understand that caring does not mean carrying. Yet, some people will ask you to do exactly that, to step in, clean up, and hold together things that were never yours to begin with. You say yes once just to be kind. The next time it's expected, then it becomes a pattern. What started as a small favor quietly morphs into a lifelong obligation. Suddenly, you're the glue keeping everything together. Not because it's your role, but because no one else stepped up. And when you try to step away, guilt keeps it chained. But here's the truth. Carrying what isn't yours will always come at a cost. Not just your time or energy, but your health, your peace, your very sense of self. You're not a safety net, not a backup plan, not an eternal fixer. And anyone who treats you as one has already crossed a line. The longer you carry their weight, the further you drift from your own life. 2. Lending money without a real emergency. There's a specific kind of silence that follows when someone you care about asks for money. Not because they're in crisis, but because they've made poor choices and expect you to fix them. It's a silence full of pressure, guilt, and emotional manipulation. You're my father, my sister, you have to help. But do you? Lending money in your later years is rarely a neutral act. It's not just about the dollar amount, it's about what that money represents. Stability, safety, the comfort you earned through decades of sacrifice. And once it's gone, it doesn't just leave your bank account, it takes your peace with it. People often think they're asking for a loan, but what they're really doing is making you shoulder the consequences of their lives. And if you say no, they turn the story on you. You're the bad one now. But where's the accountability? Who's asking whether they deserve what they're requesting? Don't confuse generosity with self-eraser. It's not selfish to protect your financial boundaries. It's wise. You've done enough. You've earned the right to say no more. 3. Mediating in family conflicts. Family conflict has a strange gravity. It pulls you in even when you try to stay out. Please talk to him, Mom. Fix things with her, Dad. Suddenly, you're the emotional referee in a match you didn't ask to join. But here's the truth most won't say out loud. Some fights are not yours to solve. Being the peacemaker sounds noble, but what often happens is this. You become the target, the middle, the one everyone blames when things fall apart. And all the while, you're burning emotional fuel you no longer have to spare. Imagine this. Siblings fighting over your home before you're even gone. A place you see as sacred becomes a battleground for ego, entitlement, and resentment. And you're asked to step in, to choose a side, to somehow keep the peace in a war you never started. No, that is not your role anymore. Your emotional energy should be spent on healing, joy, and self-discovery, not trying to fix relationships that refuse to fix themselves. Let them fight their own battles. You are no one's collateral damage. Before we dive into the 4th and 5th requests, I truly hope you're finding this video insightful. If you are, feel free to share it with someone who might need to hear these words. And if you'd like to support the channel and the work we do, you can leave a donation by clicking the thanks button right below this video. Every bit of support means so much. Now let's keep going. 4. Being asked to change who you are. There comes a moment, usually quiet, when someone looks at you and says, "You shouldn't wear that. Don't listen to that music. Stop talking like that." It sounds harmless, but what they're really saying is stop being you, and that's an act of violence against your soul. You've spent decades becoming this version of yourself through joy, loss, choices, both right and wrong. Every habit, every preference, every story you tell has meaning, and now someone dares to say it's outdated, that you need to modernize your life to fit into theirs. No, you are not a trend to be beaten. You are not a blank slate to be rewritten. The desire to remain true to yourself is not stubbornness. It's survival. Because once you start chipping away at who you are piece by piece, it doesn't stop. Before long, you don't recognize the person in the mirror. You're not difficult. You're not rigid. You're simply rooted in a life that you've earned the right to love. Never trade your authenticity for someone else's comfort. 5. Prioritizing their emotions over your own. This is perhaps the most invisible form of exploitation. When someone demands that you shape your choices around their emotional needs, if you really loved me, you'd do this. Please just don't make me feel uncomfortable. What they're really saying is your happiness makes me uneasy, and that's not love, that's control. The expectation that you should minimize your joy to maintain someone else's sense of ease is a cruel distortion of relationship. It turns your emotional world into a performance where you exist only to serve someone else's comfort. But peace is not found in sacrifice. Not when it's constant, not when it erases you. The years ahead of you should be about alignment, not appeasement. You are allowed to say no, to live out loud, to feel things deeply, to make decisions that bring you joy, even if others find them inconvenient. You've earned that right 100 times over. These 5 requests, responsibility, money, mediation, self-erasure, and emotional servitude, have one thing in common. They chip away at your peace, and peace once lost is hard to reclaim. So ask yourself who around you has made these requests, and more importantly, why have you said yes? You are not obligated to be a lifeline, a bank, a therapist, or a scapegoat. You are allowed to protect your peace, honor your boundaries, and choose yourself. This is not selfishness. This is clarity. This is strength. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these resonated the most? Have you experienced something like this in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below and write the word intact if you made it to the end. It lets me know you're part of this journey, fully present and committed to protecting your peace. I read every single comment, and your voice truly matters here. If this brought you value, subscribe to Mental Dose and stay with us, because the truth can be hard to hear, but it's what sets us free. Until next time, protect your peace. It's the most valuable thing you own.